Chris Chan for KaijuPop.com, and this is Simian.Interface on iOS. Well, actually, originally, I think this has been out on Steam for a little while, but has now made the trip to mobile devices. And, well, this is a puzzle game, but except with a bit of internet humor, I suppose. Humor in quotes. The idea here is that there's a chip inside a monkey brain, and for whatever reason the firmware's gone skew-whiff, and to get everything to work properly, we have to move through a series of sort of spatial puzzles. Not many spatial puzzles though. I've actually already finished the game. It's about an hour long, which isn't too bad when you consider it's only $1 or 100 yen. So it's a quick snack of a sort of value proposition here. So let's jump into just one of the early sections of the game here. You can see there's levels divided up into 6 sort of groups, I suppose. And you see under the directory there, I've got a flashing point. There is one in each batch of levels. There's a hidden pixel, of which I've only found one, despite having finished the game at this point. So yeah, basically the idea here with Simian.Interface is that you've got to reproduce, or not reproduce, but you've got to produce a series of patterns that the game wants you to make, and for the most part it's just a process of matching coloured squares together into their outlines. So there you go, getting the white into the white outline there. This defaults to tilt controls. I've changed it to touch and drag because that is better, and basically the idea here, what you have to get past, is that I'm not manipulating these shapes directly for the most part, but in actual fact, even though I've only got a 2D plane, effectively I'm rotating a camera in a 3D space. So it's about parallax and perspective. So if I tilt to the left here, I'm swiping left, so that all these boxes line up. And there you go, and that's what you want to do. You're kind of told if you're going too far. It'll say focus lost by saying, hey, you're going way off track here, get back on it. And yeah, and basically by swiping around here, I see there's actually 2 places, 2 boxes to do that, so imagine that. Gosh, the hidden square thing is basically, or the hidden pixel gimmick is, as far as I can tell, it just shows up if you arrange the shapes in a certain particular configuration at any one point. So I guess if I just trace my finger all around the screen on every single puzzle, I'll eventually come across it. But you know, still so. Something up there, and it seems straightforward here at first, and yeah, reasonably interesting. This one is tricky, isn't it? It seems straightforward. Oh, that's right. Go all the way around the other way. That's it. I think. Or do I? It's been a whole couple of hours since I did this last day. But as you go on, there you go. This is an example of some patterns that are a little bit harder, where there's a whole array of boxes that I have to get in sort of polka dot arrangement, and there you go. And that's the last test in this first section. So, you know, not too challenging, but you get as a reward a banana. Yay, because monkeys and bananas. Really, I mean, the whole monkey thing doesn't really come into it perhaps as much as it should do. It's just kind of a quote unquote, hey, we're bonkers video game maker guys. Well, without spoiling it too much, you get halfway into the game and it descends into lolcat territory. So there's that, I suppose, to contend with. If you're a fan of that, then you're a fan of that, I suppose. The music's good though, and yeah, it's trickier and trickier with each sort of passing phase to figure out exactly what the game wants you to do. So you'll start eventually. Sort of swiping left to get these things in. I can imagine it's fairly difficult to figure out what's actually going on without the screen in your hand, but yeah, I mean, I'm swiping in all directions and that's manipulating the shapes, and it's sort of about passing what your inputs are actually doing in terms of the perspective on the scenery here. Some levels will have different colored blocks, for example, different colored squares that you have to combine. So you have a red, a green, and a blue, and you have to combine them, oh, here we go, in the same sort of space in order to get, you know, a white block. Or here you have to do something completely different by reproducing that, you know, show how unintelligent it is. You know, it's the famous graphic designer. But yeah, I don't know who it is. Who did that kind of painting, but yeah, that's what it wants there. So sometimes it wants very different patterns, so it's on you to figure out what the game actually wants from you. But yeah, that's it. Here we want a bunch of different strengths, which we're close to doing. Well, there you go. And then, yeah, these are the really tricky ones, these sort of tartan borders here, where, for me, from my perspective at least, maybe I'm not right-brained enough or left-brained enough. It's kind of hard to discern what the game actually wants at times, but that's kind of part of the challenge, I think, is figuring out what's actually being asked of you, and then going ahead to do it. But yeah, that... I kind of almost don't want to spoil it too much because the game is so short that if I made anything more than 8 minutes on this video, it will blow most of the game out of the water. Yeah, I mean, it's very brief. The humor really isn't particularly for me, but it's a decent little spatial puzzler, and it's certainly very cheap. So $1, it might be worth your time. Chris Charm for KaijuPop.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.